Yeah.
But they're unable to make any decisions until a white weasel crawled out from a crevice and began licking their eyes.
Yeah.
No
It's like,
idea what to make of that.
yeah, I was very confused about that weasel, but then since you mentioned it did come underground, I feel like it was probably sent by death. And maybe the weasel is kind of maybe connected to it in some way.
Well, it crawled out
Yeah,
from a crevice. I don't know.
yeah,
It did crawl out from below, I think, but I don't know if that
yeah,
was from the ground or from a crevice in the stone benches.
yeah. I don't know, but I kind of thought of it as being sent by death, and it was like on purpose
He was
in a
kind of
way.
manipulating the situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of feeling, but
Hmm.
um, I'm not really sure. Like, and I wonder if the weasel has like deeper symbology as well. Uh,
Yeah. What do you think the weasel could mean at all? I mean, he's sort of like a snake. He can crawl in and out of small places.
yeah, it's so hard because we know so much symbology for other animals, but I can't think of one so much for a
Uh,
weasel.
and what about he began licking their eyes? I mean, so then they can see more clearly, something like that. They decided to take the side of death. But either way, like if he sent, I mean, if he sent the weasel, I mean, it seems like the what the decision they came to was not to the like death was not like that pleased with them.
Mhm.
And yeah, he tried to give them the argument, whatever this means, that since he was able to rule over the sun since she was a woman, but maybe that has something to do, yeah, with human relationships between men and
Mhm.
women. Will the man will assert his dominance, but then ultimately they come to a sort of compromise and sort of like he needs her after that, and then she gives him something out of love
Mhm.
and care, and then they are together after that.
Mhm.
Could there be a larger issue of governance there or something? But either way, as I was telling you before, it seems like there's violence, chaos, and imbalance between all of them, and that kills almost all life. But then they come to through like the mediation and the anger and the threat maybe from an outside force, the Titans, then they kind of come together. And yes, as I just said, she has like that caring compassion for him. And then now they are completely together in that
Mhm.
every time there's light, there's shadow too, you know?
Mhm.
There's like this complete togetherness that they have.
Yeah.
And yeah, before, whereas the moon and the sun before had like persecuted death, they'd driven him underground, driven him into a corner. Now the sun takes pity on him, maybe partially because she sees that there was a larger force than death that was pummeling him.
Mhm.
And only after it's not only he's pummeled, but with such passion that the Titans tore all of Death's clothes from his stout body. So he was vulnerable, he was in need, and then she took pity on him.
Mhm.
Whereas before, he was always a destructive force.
Yeah. Yeah, and it kind of seems too like she recognizes that he's still like important and kind of necessary as well, in the world in a way.
Yeah. Why
And like
wouldn't
she
she
wants
have
to
before? Because he was out of control.
probably and like maybe with that statement he said about how he's more powerful, uh,
Yes, maybe
or
he was, yeah, arrogant.
yeah.
He was like arrogant teenager or an arrogant 11-year-old or something, and then
Yeah.
he becomes like humbled by like a force more powerful than him, which represents
Mhm.
civilization too, right? Maybe because the Titans work as a group. They have benches they sit down on and they convene in meetings and stuff. They try to
Mhm.
make communal decisions. Those are all maybe things of like society, if not civilization.
Mhm.
I think with the stone benches, especially, that indicates civilization because it's like staying in one place rather than moving around like hunter gatherer tribes or something. But
Mhm.
anyway, they represent a sort of society and death. They are, a society is more powerful than like roving barbarians, typically, something like
Mhm.
that. And so then the barbarians have to grow up and they have to realize they depend on others. And what's the thing that most depends on life? Death. Death, you have to have something that came alive before it died. So yeah, it'd be stupid for death to kill all life because then there would be no more life to create life and therefore be able to die.
Mhm.